Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the show. I'm so glad to be on your screen or in your ear. Today, we're talking about how to get out of a rut and essentially how to get unstuck. I know what it feels like to feel like your wheels are spinning, you're taking the action, but nothing is happening. I had a period of time for literally 2 years where I felt like I was on a hamster wheel where I was just running full speed ahead and going absolutely nowhere. It was like these same patterns would come up. I would face these same things. I even was trying to make drastic change in my life, but I felt like I was in motion and going absolutely nowhere. And so, like I was setting these goals and literally nothing would happen. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? It's not like I'm not doing anything. I'm not being lazy. I'm not showing up. But I wasn't seeing any of the progress in any area of my life that I wanted to. And so again, it just felt like this. The best description I can say is spinning on a hamster wheel. Like you're moving full speed ahead, but you're actually not making any progress towards where you're trying to go. Welcome to the It Girl Mindset, where I help you step into the next level version of yourself by mastering your mindset, manifesting your deepest desires, and connecting deeply with your body. It's about becoming the most authentic, radiant, unapologetic, and unbothered version of yourself. Together, we're going to chat about how to unlock your true potential and create a life that feels as good as it looks. If you're ready to become the healthiest, hottest, and most abundant version of yourself, you're in the perfect place. Let's get into it. So before we get into kind of the step-by-step process, I want to talk about the subconscious mind, because what happens is we've got these subconscious, I know I talk about this a lot on here, but we've got our subconscious mind, we've got our conscious mind. Our subconscious mind is essentially your autopilot, right? It's running in the background based on your patterns, your beliefs, your, experiences that you went through, big T and little t trauma, right? Our subconscious mind is essentially a computer system, right? It's just running in the background. And then we've got our conscious mind. And by the way, our subconscious mind is like 95 to 98% of how we show up, how we take action, the things that happen in our life. Our conscious mind is the logical, rational thinking part of your brain. That's about 5%, right? So for example, our subconscious, you don't have to tell yourself to breathe 24/7. That would be a lot. You're not just sitting here like, okay, breathe. Okay, breathe. Honestly, if you think about it too much, it kind of gives you anxiety. Another good example is when you learn to drive a car. When you first learn to drive a car, you're like, okay, gas, brake, okay, right blinker, turn. Now it feels so easy that sometimes you're driving and all of a sudden you're like, wait, how did I get here? I literally don't remember driving for the last 10 minutes. So again, that's your subconscious mind taking over, because if we had to think consciously about everything, our brain would literally explode. Not actually, but we just take in so much information at a time, millions and millions of bits of information in a single second. Our brain deletes, distorts, or generalizes. And so again, this is all because we can't handle that much information at a time, right? When we're driving, an example of generalizing, right? When we're driving, we're not seeing every single car around us. We just generalize around us that there's cars around us. When we're walking in a forest, we're not like consciously looking at every single tree. We're like, okay, that's a bunch of trees. And with the distort piece, a lot of time with trauma, we can distort information and distort things that happen based on our own personal experience and our own past patterns. And sometimes it'll altogether delete information. So this is important because we have subconscious blocks, right? If you are feeling like you're on the spinning hamster wheel, not moving anywhere, you probably have subconscious blocks that you really need to get to the bottom of. You're probably seeing these same patterns over and over again, but not necessarily learning from them. You're kind of in this perpetual cycle. That's what was going on with me, and that's what's gone on with so many of my clients. Is again, we're self-sabotaging because our blocks are really hard for us to see, right? That's why I work with a mentor. I've worked with many mentors. Like sometimes it's really hard to see your own blocks, but I'm going to teach you how to actually start to look for those. I wanted to talk so deeply about the subconscious versus the conscious mind so you really understand if you're not moving forward and you're constantly self-sabotaging, and you're probably taking the action, 99% of the time, you're probably going to have a subconscious block. There's also this other piece I wanted to mention about your nervous system. If you're kind of in that place where you set goals, but you don't actually show up to take the action, and maybe that's where you're feeling a little bit stuck, that could also be a nervous system response, right? So we've got our sympathetic, which is our fight or flight. And then we've got parasympathetic, which is, rest and digest. We're present, we're calm. And then we've got this third one, which is actually dorsal shutdown, which is freeze. And so it has a lot of similar features of like even depression, anxiety, stuff like that, because you're kind of frozen, right? Fight or flight, you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, right? That's what fight or flight is. You're in motion, right? The dorsal shutdown is the opposite. You literally can't function, right? You're so stressed out and your nervous system is so dysregulated that you can't do anything except sit, right? You even consciously think, I want to be doing this thing, but your body physically will not move. Okay, and that's also a nervous system response. I just wanted to mention that because I think it's something that a lot of people don't know about. Again, there could be this conscious part of your brain that's like, I want to set goals, yet you're not doing anything, and that can be a nervous system response. Or maybe you're doing all this action, but it's not aligned action, and so again, you're not moving forward because of subconscious blocks. Okay, so that's kind of why you could be stuck. Now that you understand each of these pieces, the nervous system, the subconscious blocks, let's go step by step on how to get unstuck. So step number 1 is authentic clarity. What do you really want, right? Whatever your goal is, it's so important to actually ask yourself, is this in alignment with what I actually want authentically? Okay. So often, we can want something because we want to be seen as XYZ, right? Like we want to buy this car because we want to look cool. We want to buy this house because we want people to think we have our lives together. We want to own a business because we want people to feel like we're successful, right? It's like if we are chasing a goal that actually is in alignment with our authentic self, you're going to have a really hard time showing up or reaching that thing. So that's why step number 1 is really getting so clear on authentically who you are and what you want to be. This is honestly where I was stuck for so long. I was chasing a dream that I thought I wanted, but subconsciously I had to get to a point where I was like, is this really what I want anymore? Right? And so it's so important to be able to be so radically honest with yourself about what you really want and why. That why piece is going to help you understand, is this really what I want? Or am I doing this to look a certain way? A couple ways that you can really get curious with yourself about what you really want is spending time figuring out what you love, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, right? Even for me, like as a 49er cheerleader, I loved performing. The practices were really fun too, but for the most part, the work to be a professional cheerleader, I didn't love. I loved the performing piece, but that was a small part of it, right? And so I had to get radically honest with myself of, is this for me? Because if you don't actually want something deep down, you're going to have a hard time showing up and doing what it takes to actually get to those goals. Even for me as a 49er cheerleader, it was like, I had to, again, get so real with myself and be like, is this actually in alignment? Is this what's true for me right now? It's okay if at one point it was true for me, right? Like the professional dance world, it took me like 2 years to make a team, or 2 seasons, 2 tryouts to actually make a team. Once I got there, I realized what it took to actually be one. And then I started really learning about health and fitness and wanted to be a fitness coach. And so I had to be like, okay, I feel like it's no longer in alignment for me and I need to move on to a different goal. And my ego was kind of fighting me on that. I'm like, what? You worked so hard. You put in so many hours and time to, become this professional dancer. And now you just want to give up on that dream. But it wasn't actually my dream anymore, right? I had a new dream that I really wanted to go for. And so I had to be so radically honest with myself about that. Okay. Same with anything. Okay. And if you know for sure, no, I want this thing, like deep down, I want it for myself, and you know why you want that, That's where you're going to have subconscious blocks that need to be removed. You need to clear those limiting beliefs so you can actually show up for yourself, okay? So that brings me to step number 2. Once you get radically clear with what you actually want, what your goals are, and you know why you want those goals to happen at an authentic place, step number 2 is to remove blocks and rewire those limiting beliefs, okay? To actually figure out what your blocks are, one, it's so much easier with a mentor. I'm just going to be very honest with that. There's so many blocks that I can't see, and my mentor will reflect it back to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I had literally did not see that at all. So again, I definitely do think mentorship can help with that. That is not the end all be all though, okay? What you can do is kind of look for patterns in your life, right? Like, are you consistently self-sabotaging in some area? Are you consistently giving your power away? Are you consistently not setting boundaries, right? Like, where are these areas that you feel like either logically or illogically could connect to what you're trying to accomplish, right? So it's really important to, again, you're just going to have to be so aware, and awareness comes from being present in yourself and in your body. Okay, so that's where that nervous system piece comes in, which is why I wanted to talk about it first. With removing blocks as well, you also need to process your emotions, right? If you are just stuffing your emotions down and stuffing them down, they're going to come out eventually and could potentially cause you to self-sabotage in some way. Once you're actually figured out the blocks, then you're going to rewire them, okay, using subconscious reprogramming. With your subconscious mind, it's really important to know that its main goal is safety, okay? Your brain wants you to be safe 100% of the time. Even if logically you feel like you know it's safe to reach your goal, if you have a block, there is a reason that it is stopping you from getting there because it thinks it's safer to be where you are now than reach that goal. Okay, even thinking about it from a financial money perspective. If you don't have the financial freedom that you want, there is a reason that your brain thinks it's safer to stay where you are now in your current financial reality than it does to be financially free, etc. Okay? Same with your body. If you do not have your dream body, there is a reason that your brain thinks it's safer to be in your current body than it does to be in your dream body, okay? We can do that for every single thing, dream relationship, whatever your goal is. There is a reason that your brain thinks it's safer to be where you are now than have what your goal is. Hello, my loves. A quick break because I want to tell you about something really special I'm opening up for a few of you. If you've been feeling like you know all of the habits and healthy meals to reach your dream body, but you can't get yourself to actually follow through, or maybe you continue to set body goals, but you keep slipping back into the same self-sabotaging cycles over and over again, then this is for you. I'm so excited to announce that I'm now offering single mind rewire sessions. Inside these sessions, I'll guide you through my signature subconscious reprogramming method for your body journey. It clears the internal patterns that keep you stuck so you can finally show up and stay consistent with your goals. This is a single one-to-one session designed to create a deep shift in one powerful sitting. In our session, we'll get crystal clear on your body goals, get to the root of what's holding you back, rewire those beliefs and patterns, and then build a custom 3-month aligned action plan based on your specific goals, emotions, and blocks. This is so you can walk away knowing not just what to do, but actually feeling capable and confident to do it. You'll also get a mind rewiring recording so you can continue letting go of beliefs that are keeping you stuck anytime you need. No more emotional eating on stressful days, no more outsourcing your body to diets or rules that don't actually work for you, no more copying influencer workout plans hoping that this one's going to change everything, and no more all or nothing days, starting over on Monday or spiraling when you step on the scale. This is where you begin your journey to truly trusting your body and working with it and not against it. I'm only opening up a few spots each month so I can go deep with each one of you. If you're ready to finally show up as a version of you who has her dream body, this is your moment. You can now book your mind rewire session through the link in the show notes. I can't wait to work with you. Okay, back to the episode. Also, too, just from a nervous system perspective, if you're feeling like you're in a rut or you're stuck, you don't necessarily have to, okay, I need to reach a goal, right? But just even with authentic clarity, removing blocks, processing your emotions, what is something fun? What is something that sounds fun to you? Maybe that's, trying a pottery class, like, going to a yoga class, going on a retreat, right? Like, it doesn't have to be some success and some goal that you're striving for. It could be just starting to feel like yourself again, starting to feel confident in your body, right? There's no right or wrong way to do this. What's important is that you're being authentic to where you really want to go, whether that is a career, a body, or just feeling happiness in your life, honestly. Okay, so subconscious reprogramming, you can rewire it a few ways, right? Like I preach about subconscious reprogramming. You can literally clear limiting belief in 8 minutes. Just DM me on Instagram at Ashley Roberts. Just DM me like Rewire and I'll send you a free one. Or there's also, you can kind of do it through repetition, but that just takes a bit longer, right? So once you find that block, you kind of say the opposite over and over again, like, I don't feel safe reaching my dream body. I am safe to reach my dream body, whatever it may be. I'm safe to hold this capacity of financial freedom, XYZ, right? But the hardest part is really finding these blocks. But what you can do is really look for, again, those patterns, something you keep repeating over and over and over again, or something that really triggers you. If you are so triggered by something, there's probably some sort of limiting belief that is coming up for you, right? If there's someone that you are so jealous of, every single time you see their social media or you see them in person and you're just so triggered to your core, like you physically feel your body just like burning up with like anger or jealousy, that means there's some sort of block there, okay? And it's just information, right? Honestly, if you get triggered and have some sort of emotional reaction, it's actually not a bad thing. I want you to just get curious about it and be like, okay, this person must have something that I want. Where am I not being true to myself and honoring what I really want, right? Okay, where is that block? So a lot of times that jealousy comes from you thinking that they have something that you're not allowed to have or you're not worthy of having, right? And so what is that block? What is that belief? Maybe you're super jealous of someone who travels and it looks like they have this financial freedom, they work for themselves, right? If you're jealous of that, there's some sort of limiting belief about tied to your worth that you think that you're not worthy of that. Just look for these triggers and these emotional reactions. They're going to just provide you with so much information that can actually help you get unstuck. Step number 3 is embodiment. So this is all about the energetics, showing up as her, just really being who you say you're going to be, following those intuitive pings. So your intuition can only come through when you are regulated, okay? If you have something come to your brain that you're like, oh my God, I have to do this now, that's fear, that's not intuition. So it's really important that you do regulate yourself and you are in a grounded, present state so you can listen to intuitive pings that come to mind. These intuitive pings could be very illogical. For example, maybe you're looking for a job, right? And maybe you got this kind of like knowing or this ping in your head that's like, you should text so-and-so to go out for coffee. Or, I feel like I should join this course. And then you join the course, you meet someone that actually is the head of marketing, bam, they give you a marketing job, right? These intuitive pings are always leading you towards your highest self, towards your future self. And the more that you actually listen to them, the more you'll build trust with them. But the embodiment piece is really creating space so you can hear those intuitive pings, right? If you are a highly anxious girly like me, EFT tapping is so powerful to regulate yourself. It really changes your energy. Meditation, mindfulness, right? Listening to slowing down and regulating your nervous system enough that you can actually listen to those intuitive pings, okay? So the embodiment piece is really about doing the day-to-day work to show up as your future self in whatever capacity that is. It's really about using your mindset to its advantage, okay? Another app that I absolutely love that really just helps me get into a good headspace, right, is called the Activations app. And they're these sessions that kind of just allow your brain to get thinking, kind of motivate you. They have a bunch of different ones in there, but I love the walking meditation. So if I'm like, okay, I don't want to listen to a podcast, I just want to tap into my own intuition, they have one that's like, get clear on your next step, walking activation, right? They've got, reset your energy activation. There's so many in there and it's really, really powerful. So highly recommend checking that out. So now we've got step number 1, which is authentic clarity. Step number 2 is to rewire limiting beliefs. Step number 3 is embodiment, right? Now, the last step is all about taking aligned action. So those intuitive pings that we talked about, if you ignore them, you're going to start to lose trust with your intuition. If you are like, I have this intuitive ping that is telling me I should text my friend Sarah to, just see if she wants to get coffee. Aligned action is taking action in that way. Okay. I also want to talk about it from another perspective. Aligned action versus action. When I was really stuck for a couple years and I felt like I was in motion but not moving forward in any way, I was taking action, but I wasn't taking aligned action. And action is what you think you should do, which is very inauthentic to your true desires. Aligned action is from your authenticity in those intuitive pings that you get, okay? Very, very different, okay? Let's just say you're someone who's super creative, but you're in a very finance job or something like that, and you don't feel fulfilled, but you feel like this is what you should do because, your parents wanted you to do that, and, your parents say you should be financially secure, and you feel like this is what you should do because this is the safest route. Okay, versus aligned action, maybe there's pings you keep getting about going to a pottery class. And I'm not saying, okay, quit your steady finance job and go, open a pottery studio, right? I'm not saying that at all, but I just want you to listen to these intuitive pings so you truly understand, okay, what's actually action versus aligned action? Because action is just in motion, and really all about the shoulds. I feel like I should do this, right? Aligned action is from your intuition and those pings that you get. And I just want to say again, as a reminder, the pings that are very anxious driven and fear driven and you have to do this right now or else you're whatever, you have to do this right now or you're going to lose this opportunity. That's fear. That's not your intuition. So getting so crystal clear and really getting to know yourself and trust, okay? The way that you're going to build that trust muscle with your intuition is actually listening to those intuitive pings and actually following through with them. You're going to notice all of these synchronicities, okay? For example, Haley is the studio owner of the pole studio I go to. We started following each other. We started chatting. She asked if I would want to teach a class there, and I actually said no right away. I was like, oh, no, thanks. No, it's not the right time. Thank you anyway, kind of a thing. And then, so I ignored my intuition, right? Then I ran into her at Toyota. I was getting my car fixed, and I saw her there, and I was like, we randomly ran into each other, and I was like, okay, this has got to be a ping. Not necessarily that I need to be a teacher there, but I was like, okay, this is too weird that we run into each other a week or so after. I'm going to take this as a sign. And I listened to that intuitive ping and I ended up booking a private pole session with her so she could teach me the basics. Then I ended up signing up for pole classes, which is one of my favorite things in the world now, honestly. It's my favorite thing to do. And I also made an entrepreneur friend as well. And during that time, I was actually just started working with my mentor, and I was really struggling with friendships and fun things. I was really just doing a lot of working and not a lot of playing. And so by actually listening to my intuition, I connected with Haley, and now we're good friends, and it led me to pole classes, which is crazy, okay? So that's what happens when those intuitive pings. I don't believe that anything is a coincidence. I think everything is in perfect synchronicity. It's really about listening to your intuition, though. So again, pings can feel random and weird and out of the blue, but the more you actually listen to them, the more you will actually trust them and be able to call in things that you want, whether that is more happiness, more financial freedom, a new job, whatever it may be. To get unstuck, you have to One, get so clear on what you want, right? Being so clear that you're authentically putting out into the universe what you want, not from your ego, not because you want to look a certain way to other people, truly at your core, authentically what you want. Number 2, remove those blocks and rewire your limiting beliefs. Always look for tests and triggers. Don't push down your emotions. Really lean into subconscious reprogramming. Again, if you want that free 8-minute session, you can just DM me Rewire on Instagram and I'll go ahead and send it to you. Step number 3 is embodiment. Okay, so you're really doing that energetic work, showing up as her, doing the EFT tapping, right? Doing all of the mind and body work to be able to show up and take that aligned action, which is step number 4. Okay, listen to those intuitive pings and actually show up and do them. You will be shocked at how quickly your life starts to change. Okay, again, even for me, I was taking action. I even thought I was doing the mindset work, but it wasn't authentic to me. I wasn't taking aligned action, which was causing me to be in this perpetual cycle. I was seeing these patterns over and over again, but I wasn't willing to do anything to change them because I was so attached to this one outcome. But when you really open your mind up to the possibilities of the world instead of being so stuck on one thing and really tapping into your authentic self and what you really want, the aligned action is going to come so much easier, okay? All of these are going to be kind of happening all at once, right? You might think something's authentic to you, but if you detach a bit from the outcome, you're open to more possibilities. So you might think something's authentic to you now, but then you realize, okay, actually this is feeling more authentic to me. Oh, you see these patterns and triggers. Okay, I'm going to allow myself to see this and move through it. Same with, the aligned action. You're taking the action that comes to your mind that feels kind of like the soft whisper, right? It's not like this anxious, oh my God, you need to do this right now or you're going to lose the opportunity or you're going to lose XYZ, right? No, that's fear. That's anxiety. The intuitive pings are soft spoken and they're going to keep bugging you until you actually do something about it, right? I don't know. I think about it with the whole car thing with Haley. I kind of wrote off the connection at first, and I feel like the universe was like, no, I'm gonna put you guys together. And honestly, at the time I was really annoyed because we were leaving for Tahoe the next day and rats got into my car and ate some sort of wire and it just messed up my car. And so I was really frustrated. I had to get it done literally that day because we're leaving for Tahoe the next day. And I ran into her. So I feel like if you don't listen to the smaller pings, the universe kind of has to take drastic measures to put you where you need to go. So follow those intuitive pings, okay? Okay, my loves, that wraps up this episode. If you are feeling stuck or in a rut right now, I just want you to know that you can get out of it. I promise it will get better, especially speaking from someone who was in a rut who felt stuck for literally 2 years. I promise you, if you really just get so clear on your authenticity and who you are and what you want and start removing those blocks and taking the aligned action, you're going to be shocked at how quickly your life changes, okay? Okay, my loves, don't forget to rate and review the show. It really helps the podcast grow. If you're on Spotify, you can just click those stars at the top and don't forget to click follow as well. And then you can also leave a written review on Apple Podcasts as well. It would mean the freaking world to me. Okay, my loves, thank you so much for being here. I absolutely love being on your screen or in your ear. If you have any questions, of course, DM me on Instagram. I've also got an anonymous question box down below that you can write me anything, health, wellness, personal development, life, all the things in between. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.